In the meantime, while they're setting this up, I just wanted to thank MPose for hosting us, putting this together, and round of applause to you guys for sticking around. It's pretty hot up here, so congratulations. You're doing a wonderful job. I'm going to be talking about how we can create better seamless experiences for developers, but also for the consumer space. And I think this connects very nicely to the conversation that was happening earlier with regards to data, reputation, and unlocking that next layer. Can we go back to the first one? First frame? Yeah, just want to go to the first one. Do I push this to go to the first one? Go back. Perfect, yeah. All right, perfect, here we go. So yeah, I'm here to kind of present this talk, but also talk about Ontology, OntID. My name is Humpty Calderon, and if you want to connect on X, I'm Humpty0x, and on Farcaster, I'm at Humpty. And let's get started. I'm going to talk about a few. There you go. We'll figure this technology out eventually. Really position this conversation from why cross-chain identity matters. Really, this is at the crux of the next level of consumer experiences, but also the way that we can interoperate across different blockchains. We'll talk about how this then enables portable credentials and authentication across different blockchains, present the tech stack or the decentralized identity stack that Ontology has built, which is OntID, onto Wallet and Orange protocol. And then, of course, why we're all here, we want to see the consumer space adopt crypto in a way that is accessible, familiar, non-technical, the way that we use the internet today. So really, from a very high level, why does cross-chain identity matters? I don't think that I really have to argue too hard here, that these are some of the reasons why we started working in this space, is we really wanted to create a web of ownership, a web of trust, where users can control their identity, their data, and their digital assets. I think for the most part, we're doing a really good job at enabling that future of digital assets, non-custodial wallets and such. We are able to own, whether it be our tokens or our non-fungible assets. But there's still a lot to be desired when it comes to the identity and data space. And really, this is like I said, at the crux of what I'm trying to explain here. Also, is this interoperability. Currently, there is a gap in which there is very little interoperability across blockchains that are not necessarily the EVM. So alt VMs like Solana and Bitcoin and so on, there is very little that you can do across these chains. Some examples there as to how you could potentially use this, as well as the fact that, yes, some of the current pain points for Web3 is a very fragmented experience. It is not like what we're used to in the current web, where you have an internet that is accessible, really just through a browser. And there's other protocols that have been introduced that allow for you to interact with the web in a way that is super simple as well. So I'm also going to make a very big assumption here that most of you maybe know what DID is, or decentralized identity. If you don't, I'm happy to explain it afterwards or during the questions session. But really what I'm explaining here is the fact that with DID, you can create this single identity layer that doesn't really care what blockchain it is that you're building on. You could be on the Bitcoin network, you could be on Solana, you can be on Ethereum, and you're able to then interact across all these chains using a single identity. As well as the fact that through this, you can create a much more fluid, transparent, and experience for users with that portability as well, reducing friction. And again, the important thing is we're also trying to build to make this accessible or approachable to non-crypto natives. And for developers, primarily, when you are trying to grow your product, where you're trying to grow your user base, you also have some limitations in terms of like where you launched. If you are building with these platform agnostic identities, if you will, then you're able to then grow and onboard users from other chains as well. So the example that I gave earlier about the internet and the way that it functions today is when you are browsing the internet, the likelihood is that you've come upon like some OAuth feature where you can sign in with your social login using Facebook, using Google. these are things that have made the internet much more accessible. You don't have to be creating an account on every platform. You don't have to remember the password for every platform. You have one account that allows you to access the internet and just literally have fun, go there for the intended purpose. You don't necessarily need to be concerned about where it's at. Is this on the Bitcoin network? Is this on Ethereum? It doesn't matter. You browse the internet really to just have the functionality of whatever service or platform that it is that you're trying to use. So the opportunity here is the fact that we're creating a much more cohesive experience and unlocking some new primitives or some new experiences within blockchain. If you have this data, if you have this reputation, you're able to create these new systems that reward loyalty. If you know that the users that are coming to your platform are fantastic, liquidity providers on Ethereum, and they're coming to Solana to do something similar, you can engage and onboard them and reward them immediately, create the right incentives. There was some conversations earlier in the previous panel where they were talking about tokens and airdrops and that they're broken. I agree. I think we need better systems that provide visibility into your activity that allow you to earn and get the incentives to onboard you in a way that is maximally efficient for everyone, the user, but also for the platforms that are rewarding those tokens. And so here, really, I just break down DID. I'm going to try to keep this very quick, very simple. With DIDs and verifiable credentials, it's like the yin and yang of this identity system. One is your identifier, one are the credentials or attestations on top of that identity, which those are the attestations that can be used as a reputation marker, if you will. And you can also, through this system, use KYC, reusable KYC. There is probably a future where there will be a need to know your customer, and to be able to do this in a way that is super simple, where people aren't having to do this over and over in a secure fashion as well. This is a potential, OntID can help you do that. And again, it's about making things simple, authenticate once, and then just keep using the platform. I'm sure you all don't go to the internet, open the browser, and then just the first thing you think about is like, how am I going to log into this website? You just want to go and log into that website and use it. So the authentication needs to be much more seamless. And in big bold letters there, really the main takeaway here is we want to provide the user a way to have more agency, more ownership, and of course more opportunities in this new web. And so with OntID currently, it boasts over 1.5 million users, and this really speaks to the team and how long they've been doing this. They've been doing this since 2017, so it's not a team that just thought, oh, this is a fun thing to do. They've been consistently building products, and I'm going to introduce some of them in a moment, that have allowed them to grow this ecosystem in this way. Currently on 7 blockchains, the goal is 100 blockchains. I say, why not 1,000 blockchains? Because just this conference already, we had like 7 blockchains that were announced. So the number of chains that are continuing to be developed is continuing to grow. So we need to create an identity system that connects everything. And so Onto Wallet is the platform or the wallet that, as it says in the name, that Ontology has built for you to easily create, manage, and store your identity, and for you to also share your attestations or your reputation proofs. And it allows for this cross-chain functionality as well, and allows for the user to manage their identity across different chains as well. So you can go to onto.app, check it out. Let me know if I'm lying. I actually think this is the easiest way to create your decentralized identity. If I'm wrong, let me know. The other piece here is Orange Protocol, and this is actually something that's very near and dear to my heart because I was very involved in the development of this in the very early stage, which extends some of the functionality of what Ontology had already built with what's called OScore, which is a credentialing, reputation scoring system that now allows you to use open data, so on-chain and off-chain data, to create these like reputation markers or new primitives that developers can use to unlock new experiences as well. These are verifiable, these are transferable, these are composable. With Orange Protocol, for instance, we took verifiable credentials, which is an off-chain primitive, and we created soul-bound tokens, which is an on-chain primitive, much more familiar for developers to use as well. So I'm going to start wrapping it up because I know some of you want to hit up happy hour. I know I do. Those Negronis look really good. Really the whole concept, the whole goal here is for us to start getting away from this fragmented ecosystem that we're creating and start building something much more unified. Is that me? Okay. And then, creating a plug-and-play system. My goal and my challenge to the developers at Ontology is, can we make this in 5 lines of code or less? I think that needs to be super simple for developers to be able to integrate this much more easily, and so that they can start onboarding users much more quickly and efficiently using this system of identities and reputation scores as well. It would be great in the future if I'm using a DeFi platform. I don't know if it's DeFi, but it's a great trading platform. And all of my activity that I've earned over time allows me to unlock something really cool in an art marketplace, or as we know it, an NFT marketplace, for the consumer space. So it creates a much more integrated experience as well. With OntID, with this cross-chain identity, with this platformless identity, because it really doesn't care, it allows you to create something that is more user-centric and not so technically complex, and create an ecosystem that is much more inclusive instead of exclusive of, are you a Bitcoiner, are you a ETH maxi? I'm a Web3 maxi, period.
DeFi maxi.
All of it. Give me all of it. A big sandwich of Web3. So I've kind of already touched on this, so I'm going to skip this. And really, the last words here for you to remember is, we're creating a system so that we can help developers onboard more users, retain them, and of course, create more personalized experiences. That's it. I'm Humpty Calderon. Check me out on Twitter.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Farcaster.
Big round of applause.